Hi guys, it's Machaela and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first makeup monthly of the month. I do plan on doing this the same style I did it last year. I really liked it. It was whatever makeup I got, whether it was a gift or it was a purchase, any makeup empties and any makeup hacks that I may have. So it was also my birthday month. So January typically is a big month for makeup for me because I purchase a lot. It's kind of like my birthday present to myself, my husband's birthday present to me, and plus all the gifts with purchase. So I got a lot of like kind of little like sample stuff and birthday style gifts. I also got a large eyeshadow palette, which I'm excited for. But let's just go ahead and get into it. I have quite a few hits and unfortunately quite a few misses as well. But let's just go ahead and get right into it. Starting with this little gift with purchase, the L'Oreal Revitalize. It's a hyaluronic acid serum. I don't feel like it did much. I only tried it a few times. I do get a little bit concerned with hyaluronic acid because I find that if I put it on as a base layer, it does tend to break me out. The couple of times that I did use this, I didn't notice that too much, but it didn't really feel like it did anything for my skin. I mean, I will go ahead and put it in my moisturizers because I do use moisturizer and oils interchangeably. I don't think it's great. It didn't really do a whole lot for my skin. And then I also picked up, so Ulta, they've been doing this thing for this last year where they've got like makeup obsessions and like different things for hair, skin, and makeup. They last about 3 weeks at a time or so. But I picked up the L'Oreal Glowtion as part of that like deal, and you get like 3 times the points. And I'd say it's good. I think it's cute. I've been wearing it underneath foundation. It's okay. Again, I don't really notice a huge difference. I feel like you have to use either a lot of this or a lightweight foundation. And even then, I find that it is actually breaking my foundation down just a little bit, not a whole lot. It works good for a highlighter as well. It's just one of those like products that you can kind of use for different things. And I liked it. I didn't love it. But then again, products like this are just kind of like, they're a little bit gimmicky to me. They're not my favorite. But so I did pick up 2 foundations this month. The first one I got was the LYS Triple Fix Foundation. I got the concealer and a BoxyCharm, so I decided to pick this up. It was cheap, and plus I needed to order something so I can get my Sephora birthday gift. I'm not sure if you actually need to order something. I just wanted to, and this is very affordable. Like for being a high-end brand, it's very affordable, so I really do want to try more from them. So with this one, I shade matched myself based on my favorite foundation, and that is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation. That is the shade 30 and matches me absolutely perfectly. So I went ahead and I just shade matched based off of that. I got the shade MN3. And when I put it on, at first it feels like it's very dark. It's a little bit like too dark. Not bad, but a little bit darker for my skin tone than what I would want it to be. But once it sits on the face for a little bit, I think it just kind of, it lightens up a little bit. The way it just applies onto the face, it starts dark, but then it like goes into a perfect shade match. And I gotta admit, this is probably going to be a favorite foundation for me. I love this. I love how it's a little bit more, I don't want to say full coverage, but it's like a good medium coverage foundation. It looks like skin, it feels like skin. It's just kind of, it gives me like Stay Naked kind of feels for a little bit of a cheaper option. So if you are looking at something like that, or even like the Dior Backstage Foundation is another one of my favorites. It just kind of looks flawless on the skin, and this is just a little bit more of an affordable option. It's not drugstore pricing by any means. It's still that high-end feel without so much the high-end price tag, in my opinion. And then I picked up the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, and this is a hydrating tinted gel cream. I have mine in the shade Vanilla 02. When I first applied this, it like slipped around. It didn't stay good at all. I didn't really like it. And I have heard some people say that they absolutely love this. This is their holy grail foundation. I've also heard people say that they absolutely hate it. And I think a lot of it has to do with skin prep. So the first time I wore it, I think I wore it with the L'Oreal makeup oil as part of my base. And I think that maybe a lot of whether or not this is going to work has to do with the skin prep. If I wear just a basic moisturizer, basic primer, I think it looks fine. But if I wear something a little bit more oily or a little bit with a different texture underneath, I feel like this doesn't work. So I think a lot of whether or not this is going to work has to do with skin prep. it did move around a lot, and my skin runs normal to dry. If you have really dry skin, actually, you might like this a lot, but if you have oily skin, I wouldn't necessarily say I'd recommend it. But if you do have oily skin and you've tried this, let me know what you think about it. I think this is one of those products that it's a hit if you have the right base underneath, and if you don't, you're probably gonna really hate it. So I wouldn't say this would be one of my favorite foundations, but I like it enough to keep it in and to enjoy it. And the Sephora birthday gift. I got the Ilia. It's just the multi-stick. I got the shade At Last, and then it came with the Limitless Lash Mascara, and I like it. It feels like a cream blush, and it feels like a good mascara. The mascara, I find it does smudge a lot, but I really love the wand. I love how separating the wand is. So I really like what it does, but unfortunately I feel like every time I apply it I get smudging, and that for me is kind of a big miss. But because it's so lengthening and separating, I feel like that kind of makes up for it. I think that as this starts to dry out, I'll like it a little bit more because it is brand new. It's still very much a wet formula, but I do see myself liking it more, and it smells like perfume, which it's not a terrible smell. I'm not a big fan of scents and makeup, but it's not like a smell that makes me want to gag. And again, just this here, the blush, it's cute. It feels like a cream blush. I don't think it's anything special. I've been wanting to try Ilia for a while now, so I'm glad I get to try them. And again, it's not anything special in my opinion, but it's good. It's basic, and when something's basic to me, I kind of go with it's very beginner friendly. So it's good. It's probably a very good, like if you've never tried cream blush before, you might like that. But as someone who's familiar with makeup, I've tried formulas that I like more. And then another blush that I got is the Milani Cheek Kiss blush. I have a different shade, so I really wanted to buy another one, and this is the shade Berry Smoosh. This is a very pigmented blush, so I would suggest either wearing it if you have a lighter skin tone. If you have a darker skin tone, you might get away with it, but if you have a lighter skin tone, I would highly recommend that you use very, very little, or this is actually the perfect blush if you're one that likes to do underpainting. I know that's kind of coming back in a little bit, but we're putting it before your foundation. Of course, with underpainting, I say make sure it's a very light coverage foundation, or make sure you have the least amount of coverage on your cheeks where you are underpainting. But I like the formula. The color's a lot. I have to work with the color, but when it's on, it is gorgeous. It lasts all day. Formula wise, I adore it. I adore the other color I have. It's amazing, and I want to continue to purchase these, and they're affordable. So this is definitely a favorite. If you watch my top 5 cream and liquid blush videos, this formula was in that, so I'll leave that link down below if you want to go back and watch it. I also picked up the Bare Minerals Blonzer. I was wondering what the hype was about. I've heard so many good things about it, so I'm like, I want to try it. My husband took me to Ulta one day. We kind of got a little bit of time to ourselves, so I'm like, just take me in there. And so when I picked up the hydrating gel cream, I picked up the Blonzer. I have the shade Kiss of Rose, and so when I swatched it, I'm like, okay, it's totally gonna be a blush. And then when I started applying it, I'm like, okay, so it's definitely a blush for sure. Like, I'm not gonna wear this as a bronzer. It's a blush. But it's got the undertone of a bronzer with the overtone of a blush is what I realized. And I think it's pretty. One complaint I do have is that when I applied it on, like, over a cream blush or maybe over bronzer, it started off very patchy. And of course the demo I have is not going to say that. It's not going to share that. It's going to share the beautiful blend that it has, because nothing ever does what you want it to do or works out the way you want it to, right? But when I typically apply it, I find that it applies very patchy, and it takes some work to blend it out. Now this morning when I applied the blush in the demo, I applied it before I applied anything else to my cheeks aside from foundation and concealer and all of my skin prep. But I applied this before applying bronzer and highlighter, and I find that the blend was very smooth. I have been using this to help out, like, blending some of my other blushes, and once I get some of that patchiness blended out, it does look beautiful on the skin. It just takes a little bit of extra work. So it's kind of, I'm kind of using it between like a blush and the bronzer, like kind of like right there, just to kind of merge the two together. I find that I'm really liking that or just to help out the blush a little bit, but this is going into my blush collection. I'm going to wear it as a blush. I don't see myself using it as a bronzer at all. But I think it's just the undertone is kind of neat. It's a neat product, but at the end of the day, I'm wearing it as a blush. And then another part of the Makeup Obsessions from Ulta is the Revolution Bright Light Highlighter. I got the shade Strobe Champagne, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's cute. I think it's affordable. This is my first type of product where I twist up and apply it to the cheeks that way. I do find that I have to apply it and then blend it out with a beauty blender, so it does take a little bit of work. I like it. I like the effortless glow that it gives to the cheeks. I think it's cute, and for the price point, I think it is well worth the price point. Is it my favorite type of highlighter of all time? No, not necessarily. But I like it, and I think it's cute, and I think it does the job. And if you are wanting something like the Charlotte Tilbury Glow Wand, this might be a good affordable alternative. I personally have never tried that one. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I feel like this could be a good affordable alternative to something like that, at least from what I've seen from other creators do. So again, I like it, but in terms of like a highlight or a glowy product, I'm going to reach for other things over it. But it's a good affordable alternative. Not beginner friendly though. It did take some time for me to learn how to use it, so definitely not beginner friendly, but it's a good product. The last item that I bought this month was something that's been on my wish list for a while, and it's terrible. It is the Pure Cosmetics Lit Mist Illuminating Setting Spray. Hopefully the B-roll, the demo will show what I'm talking about, but I can't use this as a setting spray because it has those flecks of glitter that stay on your face, and it actually breaks down the makeup underneath. I tried to use it as a liquid highlighter, and by spraying it on the back of my hand, sticking my beauty blender in, and it works. It's a little bit too deep for my skin tone, but this product, definitely not worth it. I don't recommend it. I wouldn't be surprised to see this in a declutter. I think it's just awful. So unfortunately, like, if your setting spray has glitter flecks in it that stay to the rest of your face and doesn't hydrate or do anything for the skin, it's not worth it. And on top of that, it breaks down the makeup that's underneath it, which is terrible. So I don't like this, and I don't recommend it. The mister is so good. Like, why can't they put like the Urban Decay All Nighter in this kind of mister, or the Benefit Professional Setting Mist? I mean, something like that, because this mister, it's a luxurious mister. It's just the product's terrible, and I've tried shaking it up and doing all the tricks, and nothing's working. So unfortunately, it was a huge mist. But I might keep the mister for something. Like, either I'll use this up one way or another, or I'll dump it out and just keep the bottle because it's cute, but definitely not worth the money. And that's everything for my Makeup Monthly. Because I bought so much this month, I didn't really work through too many products to empty, and I don't really have any makeup packs just because I've been experimenting with. This is almost a full face of makeup. I think one of the few things I'm missing is like a concealer. Yeah, I think it's pretty much just a concealer and like just some base products. But that's everything. And I also didn't buy a bronzer this month. So concealer, bronzer, and then just some basic skincare. Anyway, that's everything I have. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. I do videos focusing on beauty and lifestyle. And if that's what you're into, my goal on this platform is to share my love for beauty as well as my love for Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. If that is what you're into, hit that subscribe button. And if that's not what you're into, but you still want to stick around, hit that subscribe button. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.